Hello, and welcome to Mad's Tea Party, the channel run by a girl who does not drink tea. I'm Madison, and today we are going to be comparing Disneyland rides and Disney World rides. So on my channel in the past, I've mostly been talking about Walt Disney World, and that's because I live in Florida and it's my home park. So I haven't really been talking about Disneyland as much, but I have been there in the past and I've been wanting to talk about it. So I'm gonna do that today. For the purposes of this video, I'm only going to be comparing rides that have the same ride title or are basically the same ride. I'm not going to be including Indiana Jones versus Dinosaur or Test Track and Radiator Springs Racers or anything like that. It has to be the exact same ride, same theme, same name, something along those lines. I'm not getting into sister rides today. So with that said, let's get into the video. Not me on the Disneyland website looking up their rides so I don't miss any. All right, first up is the Astro Orbiter, Disneyland versus Disney World. I feel like this is a pretty easy choice for me, and Disney World wins hands down. The Astro Orbiter at Disney World is the best Dumbo clone. Actually, I think it's better than Dumbo. That's a hot take, but I said what I said. At Disney World, you're elevated above the ground, you're super high, you're just taking in the vibes of Tomorrowland. And Astro Orbiter at Disneyland, it's not nearly as high in the air, and it's kind of Magic Carpets of Aladdin-esque to where it's right in the middle of the walkway and it's just really inconvenient. So it's not to say that I don't like Astro Orbiter at Disneyland, it's just better at Disney World. Next is Autopia versus Tomorrowland Speedway. Disneyland's is better all around because you have Bird. It's Bird! Oh no, Bird! What happened to Bird? And I just love Bird. Like, he's so cute. And Autopia is the original. It's Walt's Autopia, and we love that. Tomorrowland Speedway doesn't need to be there, and honestly, Autopia doesn't either. But I think Autopia is more fun. So Autopia wins that for me. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This is Disneyland, hands down. It could go to Disney World if they would update it. That would be excellent. But as it stands right now, with the updates that the Disneyland version has had, Disney World just doesn't compare. So Disneyland wins. All right, so the railroad, Disneyland versus Disney World. Disneyland wins, again, because it has the dioramas. I think Disney World could easily win that again if it had dioramas, but it doesn't, and it's been closed for like 2 years. So honestly, did we expect it to win? No. Next up is Dumbo, and I think Disney World's is better. Of course, Dumbo in Disneyland is the OG, but there's just something about the new dueling Dumbos in Storybook Circus. The aesthetic of it is top notch. I love the little water fountains in the area for some reason. I just think it's cool that you're like flying above the water. And yeah, I really like Dumbo in Magic Kingdom, so it wins. Haunted Mansion. This is difficult because they're so similar. But I'm gonna have to go with Disney World on this one. And the only reason why is because the ride is longer and I always want more Haunted Mansion. So that's my main reasoning. I really, really wish that Walt Disney World's version had the Hatbox Ghost. If Disney World had that, it would win hands down, no contest. But because it doesn't, it makes it a little bit trickier for me. But I can't just make Disneyland win for that one animatronic. So yeah, Disney World wins. It's a small world. This is interesting because when I was on the one at Disneyland, I was like, oh, Florida's is better. And then every time I go on the one in Florida, I'm like, Disneyland's is so much better. But honestly, I think I'm gonna give it to Disneyland because they have the characters in the ride and it's so cute. And if they brought the characters to Florida's version, that would maybe make it win. Because I do like that you're out on the water instead of it just being a narrow passageway of water and then the room being dry, if that makes sense. Overall, Disneyland is definitely the winner. Also, their ride is much prettier. The ride in Florida, like the ride facade in the show building, is so ugly. And it upsets me because Small World's aesthetic is unmatched. Like, Mary Blair went off and they just did Magic Kingdom so dirty, and I'm upset about it. So yeah, Disneyland wins. The Carousel. I don't think I've ever done the Carousel at Disneyland, which now that I say that is a crime. Like, how have I not done the Carousel at Disneyland? Maybe I have and I just don't remember, but I feel like I definitely haven't. So I can't really say, but I feel like the Carousel, okay, it's the same experience, right? Just you're looking at different surroundings. And part of me is like, oh, well, Florida would be better because the castle's bigger and Fantasyland is, in my opinion, nicer to look at in Florida. So part of me is like, okay, well, Florida wins. But then the other part of me is like, but that's Walt's Carousel. So I guess it depends on what you value, but I can't really say. The Little Mermaid. Honestly, it's the exact same ride, so I guess I'm just gonna go off of like the queue and stuff, and I feel like I have to give this to Florida because it's an actual themed queue, whereas in California, it's just a standard wraparound line. So yeah, Florida wins. Ariel, absolutely. All right, Mad Tea Party. This one's difficult because again, the rides are so similar. It's just coming down to the aesthetic of it. And I do appreciate that in Florida it's covered, so if it's raining or something, you can still ride, but that's not really a big deal in California. And honestly, I really, really like California's. So Disneyland wins Mad Tea Party, which is good because it's the original. Winnie the Pooh. I'm gonna be real. I don't remember the one at Disneyland. I did it last time I was there. I remember doing it. I just don't remember it at all, which I feel like speaks for itself. So I'm gonna say Disney World here, but I could be totally wrong and missing something. The riverboat. I don't think I've done it at Disneyland. So again, I'm gonna have to skip this one. Tell me why I never knew that PhilharMagic was in California Adventure. What is this? Smuggler's Run. Okay, so I have not been to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. So, can't say, but it's the same, so I'm not sure that it really matters. They're literally the same ride, and it has the same queue and stuff, so there's really no differences. I'm gonna say it doesn't matter, but I can't say for sure. Peter Pan's Flight. I feel like this is a pretty easy Disneyland wins. Disneyland has the best dark rides, and Florida needs to step it up. Definitely shade. Pirates. Pirates of the Caribbean. It's almost laughable that this is a comparison because Disneyland's is so much better. It's so much better. You've got Blue Bayou. You've got 2 drops instead of 1. You've got the extended cave scenes. You've got the ending scene. Nah, Disneyland is so much better, and Disney World is fine. It's good. But it's just a recap of Disneyland, honestly. It's not even the full thing. It's like if you were watching a recap of the last episode or something on a TV show. It's just not... It's not it. Soarin'. This is the exact same movie, so honestly, no real difference here. But I will say, I think I like Epcot's queue better. I just like the aesthetic of it. So I think this one comes down purely to personal preference in the queue area. And it's not that California's is bad, I just prefer Epcot's. Space Mountain. So this one I know is really split within the Disney community, but honestly, I prefer Disneyland's. I think it's a lot smoother. I think it's a lot more fun. I like pretty much everything about Disneyland's better, but I do still really like Florida's. I just don't feel like I'm gonna die in California. Like, my head's gonna stay on, and I know that. Another thing about Disneyland Space Mountain is that they do overlays on it, and that's so cool, and they don't really do that here because it's harder. It makes sense why they don't really do it here, and they don't really do many overlays anyway, but when they do, like for the after hours and stuff, it's just like they turn off the lights and that's it. There's not really a lot. But like Ghost Galaxy is so fun, and I never did Hyperspace Mountain over there, but like I did it in Paris and I'm assuming it's similar, so yeah. Disneyland wins, straight up. Splash Mountain goes to Disney World because Disneyland gets you soaked and there's nothing you can do about it because you're the only one in your row in the log and the water comes over both sides and you're done. Like every single hill, you just get soaked. And that might be fun for someone walking around in the California heat, but for me, who could only ride it when it was at night because the line was long, I was sopping wet in California nighttime, which is cold because it's a desert, and it was very unpleasant, and honestly the ride otherwise is so similar that it doesn't really matter. So yeah, Disney World wins 100%. Star Tours. This one is difficult because again the ride is exactly the same, it just comes down to like theming. Is it bad if I say neither? I don't like Star Tours. And every time I ride it, I like it less and less. So, neither? Just remove them both? Rise of the Resistance, kind of already talked about that. Toy Story Mania. This is interesting. I like the boardwalk feel of California's. It feels like it fits really nicely. Before Toy Story Land came out, it would have been California easy. But now that Toy Story Land is a thing, I kind of want to say Florida. But honestly, again, it's been a while since I've been on the one in California, so I don't know. But honestly, you could go either way on this one, but I think Florida. Turtle Talk with Crush. This isn't even a ride, but it's listed under attractions, so I'm gonna talk about it. Also, this is open in California, but not Florida. Please, please, this is ridiculous. Open it back. Epcot wins because it's in the Seas Pavilion, and that's super cool. Tiki Room. Disneyland. Disneyland's definitely better. Yeah, because you got all the tiki gods in the pre-show. Show's longer. Disneyland wins. And that's just the way that it is. Buzz Lightyear. This one I feel like, again, you could go either way. It doesn't really matter. But I kind of like Florida's. Jungle Cruise. Yeah, Florida wins. Easy. Because of the temple. So, if Disneyland's had the temple ruins that you go through, it would win. But because it doesn't, Disney World wins. And the last one is the Monorail, and honestly, I'm gonna give this one to Disneyland. The Disney World Monorail is more iconic, but I feel like the Disneyland Monorail just has better vibes because you're not actually trying to use it for transportation. You're just using it because it's a cool monorail, so it's like less crowded and more fun. But yeah, Disney World is a bit intense, and that's why I say that Disneyland's is better. If Disney World was easier going and it was easy to like hop off and on of the monorail and stuff like that, I would probably give it to Disney World because, again, so iconic. But I feel like Disneyland just wins because it's a more pleasant experience for me, at least. But again, if you say Disney World, I don't blame you. I get it. And that's it. Everything else is either not at Disney World or it's not at Disneyland. So that is all of my ride comparisons. Let me know what you think. Did you agree with my analysis? Did you disagree? Please let me know below. And if you liked this video, share it with a friend or maybe consider subscribing, and I will see you all next Friday. Bye!